Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to look at the Razer Phone 2. This is a gaming smartphone that's marketed by Razer Incorporation, who is well known for their gaming peripherals like the Razer mice and keyboards, headsets, of course the gaming laptops, the Razer Blades. And this is the second iteration of their smartphones. This one is released in 2018 because it's this Razer Phone 2, right? The first one they released in 2017. It has pretty good specs, so let me go over them for you. IP67 water dust resistant. It has a illuminated RGB logo on the back. So for you RGB fans out there, for a lot of a lot of gamers, they like to have RGB, so they have that. They have an IGZO IPS touchscreen right here, which is 5.7 inches, 1440 by 2560 resolution, 120 hertz wide color gamut display. This was the first smartphone on the market with a 120 hertz display. It has the OS is the Android 8.1, and you can upgrade it to Android 9, I believe. The CPU is the Snapdragon 845, which is the top end CPU back in 2018, and the GPU is an Adreno 630. It has a micro SD card slot, which is up to 1 terabytes. You can put up to 1 terabyte micro SD card in there, 64 gigs of internal storage, and 8 gigs of RAM. The camera is a dual camera system right here, 12 megapixel f1.8. And yeah, this is a gaming focused smartphone. As you can see, it's actually quite large. If you look at my Samsung S8 Active, it is bigger than my Samsung S8 Active, which is actually 5.8 inches display. It's actually it's bigger display, but because of less bezels, it's actually smaller, a little bit smaller. So it's 5.7, but because you have the bezels here, it is actually larger. But you do have the stereo speakers here. It is Dolby Atmos enabled stereo speakers, which is good for gaming. Of course, I didn't buy this phone for taking pictures. I bought this phone for gaming. And for that, I think it does it quite well. You can find this on eBay right now for about less than $300, which I think is a really good price to pay for a smartphone with those kind of specs that I just listed. If you look at a smartphone with a Snapdragon 845 processor, the camera obviously is not going to be as good as a flagship camera, but I mean, for the specs, it's in the 120 hertz refresh rate. Less than $300. I got this for $280 on eBay. It's a really good price to pay, I think, for this kind of device. All right, just to look at some features of this phone, we have a USB-C connector at the bottom here, as it should be. Then we have a side-mounted power button and also a fingerprint sensor. And Razer is one of the few smartphone makers that puts their fingerprint sensor on the side, which I think is actually pretty convenient because it's a natural position when you're holding the phone. And I think the Sony Xperia is the only other smartphone I think that does that. There's no headphone jack, unfortunately, but Razer does give us a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter adapter in the box. The CEO says that this is because they want to put a USB DAC or something like that. I'm not convinced. Then we have the volume rockers right here, or the buttons right here. Then we have a micro SD card slot right here, which is definitely appreciated because this comes with 64 gigs. And this can be expandable up to 1 terabyte, which is nice. And then we have the dual camera set up at the back. And the Razer logo here is chroma enabled, which means that it's RGB enabled. So let's take a look. The fingerprint sensor works, of course. Let's turn on the chroma. You can see exactly how it works. You can choose your custom color here, and you can set it to, okay, I'll just always turn it on just so you guys can see here. This is what it is. It's glowing. Yay. Okay, you can customize that to whatever you want, but I'm just going to leave it off here since I'm going to be using a case with it anyways. You won't be able to see that very well. Okay, so I want to have just a device I can use for my emulators and ROMs, just playing smartphone games and stuff like that. Something to replace my GPD XD Plus, actually, because my GPD XD Plus it's a good device, but I wanted something with slightly better display and something a little bit more powerful. And this thing really kind of fits the bill. The Snapdragon 845, well, it's powerful enough to run even the Dolphin emulator, GameCube emulator, and stuff like that, which I didn't get to try with my GPD-XD Plus. So I really wanted something like that with good display, good speakers and stuff like that. Of course, the ROG Phone 2 is going to have a better display with the OLED display and everything. The speakers arguably are better than this one, but for the price that you pay for that one brand new, I can't really justify it. That's over $1,200 for that phone plus the accessories, right? I can't really justify that. With this one, you can get it for less than $300, and plus, I'm gonna unbox another accessory, which adds the gamepad to it, which adds another $100. But still, $300 plus $100, $400, still a fraction of the price that you pay for the Asus ROG Phone 2, right? So here I have the Razer JungleCat, which is a portable gaming controller for Android. So you can see it has this kind of modular design, and it kind of makes it similar to Nintendo Switch. So Asus ROG Phone 2 did something similar with this kunai gamepad. You just attach it to the side of the device, and it's like a Nintendo Switch at that point. This one is cheaper, right? $100 for this gamepad, whereas the Asus ROG Phone 2 kunai gamepad costs more than that, and the phone itself costs more than that. And for me, having this IPS display and the speakers and a phone of this size, I think it is a good enough, for gaming and mobile gaming at least. So I don't need to pay like 3 times more for the Asus ROG Phone 2. That's why I went for this device, the Razer Phone 2. Okay, so let's look at the Razer JungleCat. This is, like I said, it's a Nintendo Switch inspired controller. It has dual analog sticks right here. You have 2 buttons here. You have a trigger button, right, and the shoulder buttons, L1, L2, R1, and R2. And then you have a D-pad down here, and your standard 4 face buttons right here, and a select and start. That's really all you need for most of your gaming needs, right? What surprises me about the size of this device is, yeah, it's kind of small. Like you can see here, like really the size of this device is smaller than I expected. It's definitely smaller than the Switch controllers for sure. I would have liked it if the analog controls were diagonal from the D-pad and face buttons right here. This is kind of the same design that they used for the Razer Edge Pro. If you remember from my video review years back, they made a gaming tablet. They made a gaming tablet with these kind of controls attached to a controller dock. And I complained about in that review that it's a little bit difficult for your hands to go vertically down. It's not ergonomic compared to the diagonal style of play that the Nintendo Switch and other gaming controllers these days use, right? I mean, there's a reason that the modern day controllers, they use the analog sticks are diagonal from the other gaming controllers because it's more ergonomic. It's less ergonomic for your thumbs to go directly vertically down. So that's something I wish that Razer could have amended and improved on, but this style of this design looks like it was kept over from the Razer Edge Pro design, which is a little bit disappointing. So yeah, anyways, this is the Razer JungleCat, and yeah, it's just like the Nintendo Switch. They are detachable, so you can detach it from here, and we have a case here for several smartphones, not just the Razer Phone 2. So unlike the Asus ROG Phone 2 kunai gamepad, this one attaches to multiple smartphones. First of all, we get the what looks like to be the manual here, and then we get the smartphone cases. So we should have one for the Samsung Galaxy S10 as well as the Razer Phone 2. I think that's the Razer Phone 2, so I don't need to care about these ones, but I think they're for the Samsung Galaxies. And I think there's another one for the Huawei P30 or something like that. Anyways, this is the one for the Razer Phone 2, so I'm going to put the case on, and then these ones have these grooves on the side to slide the controllers into. So I'm going to slide the controller into these ones, these grooves right here. And there you go. You have a Nintendo Switch type of controller right here for the Razer Phone 2. And I also looked at the Raiju mobile controller that Razer also offers. So that was a little bit different concept. You just have a standard Xbox 360 type controller and you put your gaming phone on top of it. And that's how you game basically. Of course, that one I feel is a little bit less portable, and it's actually more expensive than this one. This one's $100. The Raiju Mobile is $150, and it takes up a little bit more space because it's a full Xbox 360 controller, like kind of an NVIDIA Shield portable type of layout, and it's that style of control, right? So, but it takes up a little bit more space. I feel like the Nintendo Switch style, where you just attach controllers onto the side, is a more versatile style of gaming controller. So that's why when the Razer JungleCat came out, I was really deciding between the Asus ROG Phone 2 with the Kunai gamepad, which also has these Switch style controllers, and the Razer Phone 2. And now that the JungleCat came out, I was looking at the Raiju Mobile before, which I was a little bit hesitant on because the Raiju Mobile, wasn't that portable. But this one, the JungleCat, which just came out a few weeks ago, this really caught my attention, and I was like, okay, I like the Nintendo Switch style, and now something came out that I can use a Razer Phone 2 with, which is already really cheap online, and I can just attach these controllers onto it, which is very, very similar to the Asus ROG Phone 2 with the Kunai gamepad. So I think, okay, I don't need to buy that phone anymore. I can just use this. Altogether, this phone, $300 plus $100, $400, right? Not that bad. If you think about the specs of this phone and the specs of the Asus ROG Phone 2, yeah, of course, the Asus ROG Phone 2 has better specs. It has a 855 plus Snapdragon, which is the most powerful processor that you can get in 2019, and it has an OLED display, has a headphone jack. This one does not have a headphone jack. Okay, but is that worth paying $700 more for? And I thought, no, it's not worth paying $700 more for. Okay, this one has a micro SD card slot. That one does not. I think the Asus ROG Phone 2, for the extra AMOLED display, the headphone jack, the different accessories that can attach to it, including the twin view dock and the Kunai gamepad. It's for people in the specs, of course. It has an 855 plus, of course, 12 gigs of RAM, 48 megapixel camera. It's going to be a lot better than this phone. But it's for people who really have the money in the pockets to spend on the absolute best gaming phone that you can buy right now. And of course, if you have the money, then go ahead, buy the Asus ROG Phone 2. It's a much more powerful phone, has more peripherals, more accessories that you can attach for it. It's an overall better phone than this one. But for most of us who don't have those kind of pockets, right? We don't have that kind of money, $1,200, $1,300 to spend on a phone. So for me, the Razer Phone 2 from 2018 is still a much better value. This is a $300 phone plus $100 accessory here. Overall, a $400 package right here. So I think this is a much better deal, and I think it is going to be still good enough for 90% of us who play our emulators in our mobile games. So the 120 hertz refresh rate, again, same thing as the ROG Phone 2, and the IGZO display, while it's not as good as the AMOLED, I think it's going to be good enough for playing games. So let's take a look at how well this phone does at playing games, which is the main reason why most of us will buy it for. Alright guys, now let's get to the meat of this review, which is how do the games and emulators perform on this device using these controllers. First thing I gotta mention is how to turn the controllers on. There's actually little switches down at the bottom here for each controller. So, and there's also a USB-C charging port for each of them. So you gotta charge them separately, which is a little bit annoying, but they're there. So you just turn them both on like this, and alright, so they'll connect, and then they'll turn green when they're fully connected using a apparently low latency Bluetooth. Razer has said that this Bluetooth implementation or whatever is virtually lag free, so we'll test that out. So let's try a few games. Common one I'd like to start out with is Sonic CD. It's just a easy, simple game for physical controllers to use on Android devices. So basically no latency, or not much latency going on here. One thing I have to mention is the speakers here are actually pretty loud. So this is not even the full volume. So if I turn it up, if I turn it up to full, Alright, so it can get pretty loud. So you can see just how loud these speakers can get. Right. Yeah. So definitely these speakers are really good for games and movies. They're quite loud, much more louder than most smartphone speakers. So, like that. Anyways, Sonic CD of course runs fine, no latency or lag that I could detect on that. You can try Shadow Warrior Redux, which is also a nice game I want to try here. Alright. You no mess with Lo Wang, yeah, that's what I love that. Oh yeah, look at that. Sorry about the glare. The screen is obviously glossy, so let's see, maybe I can. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's Shadow Warrior Redux here. Cut this guy up. This is switch weapons. Jump. Yep, plays just fine. Oh, it's an Uzi. I have to pick up a Uzi later, I guess. Yeah, anyways, Shadow Warrior Redux here. Alright. Now let's try GTA Vice City. Also one I like to try with various controllers. Now I use this with GPD-XT Plus, with the NVIDIA Shield Portable, the WikiPad way back in the day, and now with the Razer JungleCat controllers. I played this game with a whole bunch of different controllers. Alright. But I have to say the speakers on this are definitely the best I've tried out of all those. Like I tried WikiPad, NVIDIA Shield Portable, GPD-XT Plus. These speakers are definitely the best I've tried out of all those. Yep, controls just work out of the box. Pretty nice. I can hijack a car. Of course. I've always loved the radio stations in Vice City. I think this GTA has one of the best soundtracks, like all from the 80s and stuff. Okay, anyways, that's not too taxing. I mean, I played this game on Android devices from 6 years ago, so that should run fine. What we want to get to is the emulators, specifically the ones that take up a lot of resources, right? Well, first of all, I'll show you obviously it can run less powered emulators. Actually, we can actually find Doom on here. So there's Doom 2, which actually exists on the GBA. I think this is actually superior to the Super Nintendo version of Doom. There we go. Yep. That's Doom 2 on the GBA right now. All the controls work, no problem, no lag. Runs at a pretty nice speed. Pretty fast. Like, as Doom should be. Anyways, just showing you guys, obviously it can run lesser powered emulators like GBA emulators, SNES, Mega Drive. It can run all that, no problem. This is a Nintendo DS. We can try, what's one? Mario Kart DS, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Obviously, Nintendo DS games run fine here. That's no problem. I'm playing Mario Kart DS on here. Up in here. Banana peel. Alright, guys, anyways, Nintendo DS games obviously run fine. We have the more powerful emulators, starting with N64. We can do Duke Nukem 64 here. Okay. Yeah, and N64 works no problem. Oops. It's just a little bit hard to control these controls. That's because the N64 controllers are a little bit weird in the first place, so it's a little bit harder to map them. Oh wait, I think it's this jump. Yep. There we go. Okay. This one. Up there. So yeah, GoldenEye 007, they will all work here. No problem if Duke Nukem 64 works. Generally don't have a huge issue with N64 emulators. So this is yeah, this is pretty good. Alright, now let's try PlayStation 1, that is. You run Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Oops. Slow state. Alright. Yeah. Classic game for the PlayStation.
Die, monster. You don't belong.
Again, the sound on this is pretty amazing.
It was not by my hand
On the Razer Phone 2. One of the best speakers on any smartphone. Probably the ROG Phone 2 and ROG Phone 1 is better, but not. Those are pretty much the only phones I could think of that has better speakers than this.
And make them your slaves. Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior.
By the way, the buttons are all pretty clicky. So you got L3 and R3 click. Miserable pile of secrets. Yeah, okay. So the buttons are all really clicky, which I like. Really nice and responsive. Yeah. Victor Belmont. Anyways, yeah, that's a PlayStation, which runs just fine. No issues there. And yeah, like I said, the buttons on the JungleCat really nice and clicky. I like that. Press these analog controllers in, and D-pad, pretty nice. Better than I expected. You know, I originally thought that it wasn't going to be ergonomic, but after playing around with them, I think they're actually fine. Okay, so obviously those are really easy to emulate. Let's try Dreamcast. Let's do Unreal Tournament. That's not an easy game to emulate. Tournament. New game. Deathmatch. Sure. Yeah, so Dreamcast, PSP, and GameCube, probably the hardest ones to emulate generally on these Android devices. Alright. Let's see. Shoot. Yeah, we got shoot. Okay, cool. Yeah, it runs pretty fine. I mean, you definitely need to have a lot of speed for this game. Oh, shit. This game seems to be running fine. Oh, man. Oh, flat cannon to the face. You can switch guns like this. Oh, shit. Just trying to show off how to switch guns. Yeah, use the D-pad for that. Not quite sure how to do the alternate fire. But it's definitely fast enough to feel like Unreal Tournament, which is a game that's like Quake and needs to be fast. It's a deathmatch style game. By the way, this game still holds up. Still a really cool game to play. Oh shit. Not quite sure how to do the alternate fire on this. I haven't played the, you know, I usually play the PC version. Haven't played the Dreamcast version too much. Oh! Whoa, he launched in the air or something. Alright, anyways. That's Dreamcast emulation. Using a game that really needs to be fast. You know. So, well, you have to pull up on this. Like the Razer Phone doesn't have a menu button or whatever. You have to do this iPhone 10 style. Just pull up on this. Alright. PSP. Okay, the next more demanding emulator. Let's try PSP. Right now I'm playing, this is Midnight Club LA Remix, which is one of the better looking games on the PSP, I think. And again, no problems so far with any emulation issues. Oh, there was a little bit lag there. But yeah, mostly it looks good. And controls are fine, not laggy or anything. It's Midnight Club Los Angeles. Let's try another game. I think I'll try God of War. That seems to be yeah, Ghost of Sparta. It's one of the better games on PSP. Alright.
Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, had taken his place amongst the Olympians as the god of war.
Bring this up. I'm just speeding this up for now. So I don't want to keep the. I don't want to make the video too long. Okay. Okay. This is again very graphically intensive game on the PSP. It's a little bit stuttering, but not by much. It's definitely still very playable. I mean, I can tell that it does frame skip sometimes, but for the most part, it's still quite playable. Nice. Alright, anyways, PSP emulation. I would try 2 pretty graphically intensive games on here. Okay. Alright, so that's PSP. Alright, and now let's look at the most demanding emulator, which is the Dolphin emulator. This is a GameCube and Wii emulator. Now, I don't have any Wii games on here, but GameCube games are definitely very demanding to emulate, especially for Android consoles, for Android devices. And at least my GPD-XD Plus could not emulate them very effectively, and the ones before that I had obviously didn't have enough power to even run this emulator. So yeah, this is probably the one that people want to see here. How does GameCube emulators run? How does the Dolphin emulator run? Well, let's take a look. The Razer Phone 2. I'm going to try Soul Calibur, which is this game I played a lot back in the day at my friend's house. I used to go over to his house. We used to have a Xbox One, the original Xbox, and I used to play Soul Calibur 2 on it. Pretty much like, not every day, but a lot back in the day. So this brings back memories, and I think this runs fairly well on here. It's not perfect, but okay, I'm gonna choose Talon because she was my favorite character back in the day. Okay, graphics, you know, this one is ooh. I wonder if that was some issue. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely not perfect, but it's all right. It's playable. There's definitely some frame skipping issues, but for the most part, it runs okay. Man, this brings back memories. This used to be my like favorite fighting game back in the day. Graphics look really good. So this Soul Calibur 2 seems to run fairly okay on here. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, I don't see any slowdowns. It seems to run fairly okay. Very playable. Alright. Alright, so that's Soul Calibur 2, which seems to run fairly well on the Dolphin emulator on this device. And then let's try, of course, classic GameCube game, Super Smash Bros. Melee. How well does this run? Okay. One player mode, voice mode, Melee. Okay. Choose Kirby. That's Pikachu here, maybe. That's Pikachu. Oh yeah, this is a classic stage. Star Fox. Yeah, it's been a long time since I played this game, but I also used to play it a lot with my friends in university. Oh yeah, there's some slowdowns, but it's playable for sure. Yes. Oh. Oh, Pokeball. Yep, the controls work pretty well. It's not that much lag. I mean, there's definitely frame skips, but not too severe, I guess. So it's still fairly playable. Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely slowdowns and stuff. It's not running at perfect speed, but it's playable, I think. Yeah, so that's Super Smash Brothers Melee. And let's see, let's try 007 Nightfire. This game also used to be a game I played a lot. It's actually one of my favorite James Bond games. I mean, not as good as 007 GoldenEye, you know. GoldenEye was like classic. Play that one so much. But Nightfire was better than people give it credit for sure. Oh, here we go. Multiplayer. Yep. It's a quick game. AI bots. Just like the good old days. Alright, yeah, seems to run pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but GameCube emulators are usually the most taxing on the Android devices, so the fact that it's able to run fairly smoothly like this is impressive. Nice rocket launcher right here. Switch weapons. Sniper. Alright, rocket launcher. Where is he? CPU bot here somewhere. Oh, here he is. Whoa, it's guided. Oh! Oh! It's got that fly-by-wire system, nice. I can attack him from underneath. He's gone. Yes. So again, it's not GoldenEye double. It's not as fun as GoldenEye 007, but it comes close. So it's definitely better than what a lot of people give it credit for. Nightfire is one of my favorite 007 games. Where is he? Shit. Just... Look, I'll get you. Oh! You like that? You like that? Oh. Finally. Give me that rocket launcher. Auto 12. Where is he? Oh. There we go. Alright, I'm not gonna play through this whole game. But yeah, GameCube emulation seems to run pretty well. Dolphin emulator on the Razer Phone 2 and with Wildcat or JungleCat controllers. Darn it. Rocket launcher. Oh. Alright guys, yeah, so that is the most demanding emulator, which is a GameCube emulator running on Razer Phone 2. Controls work pretty well with this, and yeah, generally I think the emulators and everything run pretty well on the Razer Phone 2 with the JungleCat controllers. Just to give a comparison, this is the Nintendo Switch right here, so you can see this is the bigger screen, right? This Nintendo Switch has a bigger display and the controllers are bigger as well, but the Razer Phone 2 with the JungleCat, about the same length, but smaller in height. So I think this one will be more portable, a little bit more portable. I mean, it's the same length, but slightly less in height, so less volume overall. I think the screen on this one is actually better because it's 120 hertz, right? So than the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, they're very different systems because they run totally different games. Um, but yeah, I mean, this just give you a size comparison here. This is the Razer Phone 2 with the JungleCat controllers, which are very responsive. They work pretty well, and the Razer Phone 2 is definitely powerful enough to run pretty much every emulator that I throw at it. So that's it, guys. That's the overview, a little bit demo of the Razer Phone 2 with the new JungleCat controllers to turn it into some kind of a mobile gaming console. And that's it. Thanks for watching.